All right, today we are diving deep into the incredible world of ancient Filipino mythology, all thanks to the amazing research of F. Landed Jacano. We're going to take a trip across the entire archipelago to meet the gods and goddesses who were worshipped long, long before the Spanish ever arrived. So, when you think of Philippine gods, one name probably pops into your head: Bathala. He's often called the supreme god. But here's the thing. That's just scratching the surface. It's like knowing only Zeus from all of Greek mythology. The real story is so much bigger, so much more complex. Let's get into it. So we're going to start our journey somewhere you might already know a little bit about, the world of the ancient Tagalog people. This is the pantheon ruled by the one and only, the almighty Bathala. Okay, so who exactly was Bathala? Well, he was the big boss, the creator of everything you can see. The sky, the earth, all of us. He lived up in a celestial paradise called Kawalatian. And while he was seen as this powerful, just protector, he wasn't some distant, untouchable figure. No, he had a very human side. He loved getting gifts and offerings, but, if you broke his rules, he wasn't afraid to send down some thunder and lightning to let you know he wasn't happy. But see, Bathala didn't run the universe all by himself. Not at all. He had a whole celestial court, kind of like a divine cabinet, with different deities handling different jobs. As you can see, they had it all covered. There was a god for your work, a god for your food, and even gods for the moon and the stars. It was a whole system. Now, not everyone in this divine government was, nice and friendly. Let's talk about Mangagauay, the ruler of the sea. He was incredibly powerful, and he had a famously short fuse. And this story just shows you how human, how relatable these gods could be. Amanagauay's rage? It all came from a broken heart. He fell in love with a mortal woman, Maganda, and she turned him down. So he swore revenge on, everyone. According to the old myths, every typhoon, every giant wave that crashes on the shore, that's just Amanagauay still nursing his heartbreak. The ancient Tagalogs also had a pretty clear idea of what happened after you died. If you were good, your soul went to a place called Makia, which was basically paradise. A village of rest, eternal peace, the works. But if you were wicked, you were sent down to Kasanan, a place of constant suffering ruled by a deity named Sitan. And Satan didn't do his dirty work alone. Oh no. He had these 4 terrifying agents to spread misery on Earth. Think about the Hukluban, a shapeshifter so powerful it could kill you just by pointing at you. Each of these beings was basically the embodiment of humanity's worst fears: sickness, betrayal, you name it. Okay, but that whole world of Bathala, that was just one piece of the puzzle. If you just traveled a little bit away, right there on the same island of Luzon, you'd find totally different gods and completely different stories. For the people of Zambales, their top god wasn't Bathala. It was Malayari. And just like Bathala, he was the creator, the master of life and death. He could be really kind, bringing rain and health to the people who worshipped him. But he had a flip side. If you crossed him, he could be unbelievably cruel, sending down famine and total destruction. And no surprise, Malayari also had his own divine court. And you know what? There was drama there too. Get this. Anyusantan Tao, the goddess of wind and rain, actually got demoted by Malayari because she was getting too arrogant. So you see, this wasn't just about cosmic forces, it was like a celestial soap opera. Now, let's head up into the mountains of Luzon, and the names change all over again. The Bontoc and Konkanay people, they revered Lomawig as their creator. And for the Ifugao, their chief god was Kabunian. And this guy was so powerful, they believed he lived in the 5th region of the universe, a place even higher than the sky world. How cool is that? All right, time to head south. We're jumping over to the Visayan Islands, and guess what? We find totally new cosmic blueprints and a whole new cast of characters running the show. For the Sulad people in Panay, the entire universe was split into 3 layers: an upper world, a middle world, and an underworld. Ruling that upper world was the most powerful deity of all, Tungkung Langit, and his name literally means pillar of the skies. Think about that. He wasn't just a god living in the sky, he was the very thing holding it up. Other Visayan groups had a similar layered universe. Up top, you had Kaptan ruling the sky. But down on Earth, well, that was the territory of gods like Makaptan, the god of sickness.
and you did not want to get on his bad side. They said if you didn't leave out food and wine for him, he'd send a plague to your village. And then, of course, you had other gods ruling the underworld down below. Okay, our last big stop on this journey is Mindanao. And let me tell you, this region is home to some of the most complex and varied belief systems in the entire archipelago.
So, let's meet Pamulak Manobo, the supreme god of the Bagobo people. His name means plant person, which tells you everything about their deep, deep connection to nature. And just like the other high gods we've met, he was the creator, with the ultimate say over who lives and who dies, watching over the world from his home way up in the highest part of the sky. And the court serving Pamulak Manobo was just, wow, so diverse. You had everything from the original ancestors who gave the Bagobo their culture to fierce warrior gods living on Mount Apo. You had kind spirits that protected your family. And then you had terrifying flesh-eating ghouls called the Buso. It's an incredible range of beings, both good and evil. And that's just the Bagobo. The Manobo people worshipped a god called Tugbasan. The Bukidnon worshipped Magbabaya. The Subanun pantheon was led by Diwata Salangit, the god of heaven. The sheer variety just in Mindanao alone is staggering, and it's proof of how many rich, independent spiritual traditions thrived there. So we've traveled all over, we've heard dozens of different names and stories. It can feel a little overwhelming, right? But is there something, some common idea that links all these different beliefs together? Well, what is the common thread? Turns out, yes. Despite all the different names and places, a really clear pattern starts to show up. It's a hierarchy. Almost every single one of these systems had one supreme creator god at the very top, whether it was Bathala or Malayadi or Pamulak Monobo. And that main god presided over a whole court of lesser gods and spirits who handled the day-to-day stuff, from farming to fighting to the afterlife. And that really leaves us with a final big question to think about. When we realize that the ancient Philippines wasn't just one culture, but this incredible tapestry of unique peoples, each with their own gods and their own rich spiritual world, it completely changes how we see history. It reminds us that underneath any single national identity, there's this deep, powerful, and diverse heritage. So how does knowing this story, the story of many gods, not just one, change how you see the past, and maybe even how you see yourself?